Hey guys, what is going on? Matt Kelly here. Now, this is a video that I promised in my last video, but basically what I've done is I'm actually gone back to the old tinny, the original fishing boat. Put the 30 horsepower Mercury on it. It's a bit overpowered, and which is fine. It's safe, but definitely overpowered. And what I wanted to do was show you guys how I've fitted it out with my Lowrance Elite TI2 depth sounder. Because it's actually my dad's boat, not my boat, I didn't want to put holes through the transom to mount the transducer. So I was like trying to work out alternatives, and I found a way, a little adapter bracket thing to do it so that you don't need to actually drill in holes yourself. So I wanted to show you guys the setup. Just so basically this is how you could do a fully removable, fully temporary depth sounder setup. Let's get into it. All right, so this weather is about to not go so well for us by the look of it. Look, a little bit sinister, but I'll do the update anyway. So basically what we've got here is, we've got battery set up here. You can see that white wire that runs out the side there and down the side of the boat to the crate. Now basically what I've done is I've taken the traditional fishing crate setup, and I've actually mounted a big ram mount arm on it, which is like very, very maneuverable. So you can loosen there, and it means that this can pivot 360, or you can loosen down there, and it means the sounder can pivot 360, which basically makes it a versatile little setup, gives you a place to set up all of your wires and cabling and whatever else, and gives you a neat little, basically a little workstation for your sounder. Obviously I'm on the beach, so I'm picking up pretty much nothing, but you get the idea there. Now, where this gets interesting is as you run down the back here, this is the transducer cable, and I know what some of you are gonna say, it looks flimsy, it looks finicky, but it's pretty interesting. So basically what we've got here is something that looks kind of like what you might use for a, like I think they call them power poles in the US, your big anchor pole system. It's literally a removable like bracket that drops down and goes up. Now, when I first saw it online, I was like, nah, that looks flimsy. And by the way, this is not an ad. I'm not even gonna mention where I got it from or who it is. If you wanna know, you can hit me up directly, but it's solid as. This thing is like proper casted alloy down here. It's all stainless steel fittings, and the beauty of it is you've got this twist here which enables you to pivot the whole arm out of the water completely or raise it up and down. So what I've concluded is it is very, very solid. You can see a bit of movement in the transducer there, a bit of wobble, but if you were using this at 0 to 10 knots maybe, I can't see this ever having any issues sitting in the water at that speed. I read on one of the websites, they reckon this can go up to quite a bit faster than that. I personally wouldn't, but I just literally raise it up and down. So I'm using it when I'm at the spot I think I want to get to, and I'm sounding around. I'll blast out there at 30 odd knots in the boat, and then drop that arm down and sound around using the side scan, look for structure. Once I find it, I know where it is. I'll either drop anchor or float around it. And as long as I'm floating or staying fairly still, that thing stays down. But where I'm not staying quite fairly still, or where I'm going to move around at speed, I literally just rotate that and either pivot the whole thing out of the water, which is the better way to do it, or just raise it up so the transducer itself is sitting about there, and then it doesn't matter. So I thought this was a cool alternative, especially given a lot of people have trouble getting their sounders to read well. Either with disruption from the engine, the skeg, in this case I've got a hydrofoil, that can get in the way of the transducer. The beauty of this is you can literally, if you want to, drop it down lower than the engine. Now I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, particularly if you're going in shallow water, but I thought it was a cool little hack to get a transducer on the boat without having the luxury of wanting to drill multiple holes down here or down there. I've actually been moving it around based on where I want the transducer. I think it's actually better on this side. I think it gets less disruption from the prop, but either way it works. So I just wanted to show you guys that. I think it's pretty interesting and quite a nifty little invention. It definitely makes things easier and very removable. If you had a little John boat with an electric motor, you're never going to get enough speed up that's a problem. And I think as in it's a problem that it's sitting there and moving around or wobbling or getting loose. I think it's a great use case for people in that situation, because it's fully removable. In literally 1 to 2 minutes, I can have that unscrewed, actually less than 2 minutes, I can have the terminals for the battery unscrewed, everything goes in the crate, and I could take that to any other boat that I go in, which is kind of interesting. If you were going out in someone else's boat with a friend, they didn't have one, it would be such an easy way to, even if you wanted to, pick up your whole battery and take it with you. But if they've got a battery, just screw it on the terminals and go. I think that's pretty cool. For those interested, I'm using the transducer mostly for side scan. I've never had one at this quality before, so for me this was less about trying to you know, have the perfect high chirp, low chirp, deep water, shallow water, whatever. For me it was like, I want to see what's going on the bottom, so I'm mostly using the actual side scans on the left hand side there. But it does everything. It gives you like a really good GPS, so if you're in areas you didn't know, that's pretty interesting and probably quite a powerful tool. But yeah, it's got some nice features. I really like it. I think it's useful. And that's my setup. So for anyone wondering, that is one way to do screwless, drillless, holeless transducer mounting. One other way that I want to test is there is a couple of manufacturers that do a magnetic transducer mount. So what that means is the bracket for the transducer has got a big rectangular magnet on this side. You put another one on the inside and it just magnets there. Now, I don't know, I think if you're going really fast, that seems concerning to me that might come off, but it's probably on a boat where, you know, when you're using alloy that's literally like a couple of millimeters thick, you're not talking about much there. I reckon a magnet setup would be quite good. I just like in this case that I can actually see the whole setup. It's not like it's down there below the surface. It'd be a cleaner configuration, but I think I like the ability to, you know, reach in, pivot it up, pivot it back down. It all just feels quite simple for me here. But time will tell. I might not be using this in, you know, a few months because it might just get annoying, difficult, complicated. You always got to think about it. Maybe that's enough to deter people. I don't know. But I just wanted to show you guys anyway. I thought it was a pretty nifty invention. So that's that. Like I said, guys, I think it's cool. If you guys think it's cool, then feel free to give me a thumbs up, a little comment below. Let me know what you think of it. If anyone does want to know, like I say, it's not an ad. I actually don't know the manufacturer at all. I paid full price for it. So in this case, I'm just sharing something that I thought was an interesting invention that I hadn't seen before. But if you want to learn more, hit me up direct, and I'm happy to hook you up with a link or something. And that's it. I'm gonna get out there and go and try and catch some whiting. It's that time of year. The weather's pretty interesting. It's not looking super promising, but it's nice and flat. The wind was supposed to be blowing 30 knots right now, and it's not, so that's a nice sign. So we'll see. I might have to drop the canopy up. One of the few redeeming features of this boat, the full-length canopy. Anyway, one other thing before I go, YouTube told me that 96% of the people who actually watch my videos are not subscribed. So if you thought this was interesting, if you want to stay tuned on any of the other adventures that I'm doing, make sure you hit that big fat subscribe button right there. And I appreciate it, guys, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.